Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another episode of Outlaw Radio. It's your boy, your man, 50 Grand Kevin Barnes, the militant with a microphone, mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer, in the building, man. Feeling good tonight. We got some positive things going on that we're going to talk about tonight. So I'm always jazzed up when I get to do that. I'm not alone. As you can see, I have a plethora of guests. I'm going to introduce my guest to you shortly. I want to make sure Mr. Kamar Carter is heard. You good, Mr. Carter?
Can you hear me? Can you hear
I,
me now?
I can hear you now. What's good with
Can
you,
you hear
brother?
me now? All right, all right. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that walk, raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you, I am the black woman lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the ghetto witch doctor. I'm y'all holistic health and wellness coach, Mr. Kamar Carter. Peace to the family. I'm also the one who brings you nature's natural herbs and supplements and vitality and Meatless Mondays, where I'm at right now. Y'all come on down. I'm telling you, this lasagna is fire.
Tell them where it's at. You tell them to come on down. You got to tell them where you at.
Right. Look, I'm charged, right? 3945 North 35th at the Taste, right next door to the post office. Meatless Mondays, y'all.
That's
Chef
what's up,
Chef
man.
Tasha on the ones and twos in the kitchen.
All right, man. Y'all go and support this brother. Look, you already know what we do on Outlaw Radio. We if you got something positive or progressive going on in the community, we always champion that. And I always say if you want to get in and do some collaborative efforts or what I say, some intentional solidarity, all you got to do is bang my line. So this brother is an example of that. However, he brought some ladies with him. So we have to let the ladies introduce themselves first. So let's tell the people who we are, where we're from, and what we do. Starting in it's my bottom right hand, my sister with the heel of hood shirt on, who represent Miss Carney, Miss Jamila Carney. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I bring you greetings off of 45th and Hampton. It's your girl, Jamila Carney, the minister who does not belong to the church but belongs to the streets. Also, the master movement artisan of Agape Yoga Street and all of that jazz.
That's what's up. Welcome to the show. Welcome to
She
the
was ready.
show.
She was ready.
Okay, who's my other sister up here in the corner?
All right, peace, everybody. My name is Jolie Brox. I'm here representing Fit for You MKE, Queen of the Lavender Lemonade, and also here and excited to be on board representing Heal the Hood for this year.
Give it up for black women, y'all, in the building. We always try to include the sisters, man. It's very important to include the sisters. Now, my next guest I don't even know, I'm not going to do his introduction. I mean, I think you all know who he is. He has a lot of notoriety in his own right, so I'll let him introduce himself. What's going on, bro?
La Familia, what's going down on y'all side of town. My name is Ajamu Butler, aka Brother Heal the Hood. God is good, founder of Heal the Hood MKE. I'm a 4 times children's book author. I am a community activist, a minister in my own right. I am a son. One of my most honorable titles is a father and a brother. And we here to talk about the 10th annual Heal the Hood Block Party, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Use both hands if you can. You know, so that's what I'm on out here, man. Talking this healing thing, just celebrating so much, man. We had losses in the last 10 years, but we done had a whole lot of gains, man.
All right, man. Welcome to the show. And actually, you're no stranger. You've been on Outlaw Radio before, so you know, you part of the family. So welcome back, as they say. And to my sisters, like I said before, welcome aboard. Let's see. Oh, we got one more person coming in. We got the juice lady, Miss Courtney Francois dipping in. What's going on, Courtney?
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Oh no, what's going on with you?
Nothing much. You know, I just got done moving, so moving, unpacking, trying to settle.
Oh, okay. Welcome aboard. We got Brother Jamu Butler and the Heal the Hood sisters here with us tonight, Miss Jolie Brox and Miss Jamila Carney. So it's Outlaw Radio, live from the basement. What we doing, why we do it, how we do it. This is what we're gonna get down to. So first and foremost, I always have to start off because we on the Monday show, things have happened, maybe transpired, you know, since we were last on the air, and I always give condolences and prayers to people who've to the families of people who've lost their lives to violence. I mean, anything, but in particular, violence and murder, mass shootings in California, little kids getting killed here in Wisconsin, brothers and sisters getting shot in Milwaukee, as usual. So if you lost somebody, condolences and prayers to you. If you say, well, my grandmother, she didn't get shot, but she died. Well, condolences to her too. But yeah, we got to do something about the violence in our city. So, and this is why this brother's instrumental to our conversation tonight. So Heal the Hood, let's talk about where it got started from. But first, let's talk about where you got started from. So you're a native Milwaukee, and let's start from there, hopefully.
Man, listen, I'm from the concrete.
Okay.
I'm from the mud. I'm from nowhere and everywhere in this city. People always ask like where I grew up at in the city and so on and so forth. And I always have to be honest and humble and say, because poverty was busting our head open, we stayed in every corner of the city. We stayed in Brown Deer. We stayed on the east. We stayed off 35th and Burleigh. We stayed off Center. We stayed, off of Hampton. We stayed somewhere everywhere in the city. As an adult, I stayed on the south side and just, somewhere everywhere, man. And the defining moment in my life, I graduated from Rufus King in 2009.
Hey, there you go. Class of 94.
K-House.
We got the generals on the line. We got the generals on the line. So don't start gang banging, y'all, because the generals, y'all do too much. See, he throwing up signs and stuff, and see the generals.
Man, man, there's a lot of heat coming from that couch over there.
Yeah, straight up. But I graduated in 2009. I did a year in college, and I think that's where my life started to kind of shape itself a little bit. I went to UW Green Bay, and that was the only college I applied to, and I got accepted to it. Went up there, and it was a culture shock out of this world. I was broken as a young man. I was rebuilt as a young man. And when I left Green Bay that following year, I came to Milwaukee, and I had a son. And that's when things really started to shift because I wasn't working at the time. I was in the streets real tough. I was experimenting with different drugs. Coming up there from Green Bay, we was popping this pill, we was smoking that, so on and so forth. But I knew once my son came into the world, I had to step my game up. And I just started volunteering, doing a little bit of mentoring, speaking. I was going around the city. I was on the bus at the time, hoes in my vans. I had a little briefcase from Goodwill I used to carry around with a little pad of paper and pen in there. And I used to just go like, hey, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm trying to come talk to the youth and, help them get their mind together and whatnot. And from there, things kind of trickled. And that was even before Heal the Hood. Heal the Hood is a whole other story, man. But that's my humble beginnings where I said, okay, I want to do something for my people. I want to give back and be productive as a father.
Okay. Now let me ask my sisters. I wanted to know what role each one of you play in Heal the Hood. Or I mean, it's cool if you just like, I'm just here to support my people. That's cool too. But I'm assuming that you all have active roles with how it goes down.
So I am excited to be part of the Heal the Hood team officially. Ajmore and I way back to like 2015. He was doing an open mic set. I was hosting. That's kind of where our connection came. Then I became the unofficial brand ambassador for Heal the Hood. Like me and the whole family was out here passing out flyers for the Heal the Hood event. We graduated and became an act, so to say. Me and my family are martial artists, so we would come and do a martial arts demonstration every year. And now I am serving as, I don't know, we ain't got no titles. We outside. And
Hey, you know what? Hey, I've been following Heal the Hood for a while, and I remember the martial arts demonstrations. And Jamila, I promise I never made the connection that was you.
Her mic is going out.
Your mic is gone. Yeah, bro. We've been having them do martial arts, man. I think probably about the past 4 years they've been getting down doing the martial arts with us. And it's so cold because she be leading her boys, man. They be out there doing push-ups on the concrete, on the knuckles, and all type of stuff, man.
So I lost my audio, but I'm back. So this is how I know that this 10th annual Heal the Hood block party and resource fair is gonna jump off because my mic stopped working. So basically I came on board as a brand advocate, and then me and my boys used to do martial arts demonstrations, and so we came and did that. And so in an official capacity this year, I am dubbing myself the Grand Master of the Prayer Walk. And so what we have done is solicited and collaborated with faith communities around the city. The Bible says that if my people will humble themselves, if my people would pray, humble themselves, turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and heal their land. We're talking about healing the hood. And so if we are going to heal the hood, we first must pray. And we're not talking about just Christians praying or just Muslims praying. We're talking about all faith communities. We need everybody who believes in the one true creator to holler up to the heavens so that his glory can shine down on us. And so we have a bunch of faith-based organizations from, like I said, all different faith walks that are going to do that. They are going to walk and pray. And so before noon, we will set up in different corners of the venue area. We will begin walking and praying. We will convene on the main stage right before noon. We'll all call on heaven. We'll have our libations and our opening ceremony, and then we will do just that, healing the hood. I also serve in capacity where we will be doing the Infinity Healing Children's Corner. And that corner will be activities that will enrich our children. Sister Whitney said that she believed the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Sister Jamila believed that the children are the present, and we need to be teaching them and empowering them even right now to be able to make sure that Heal the Hood lasts 15, 20, 25, 30. So I want to look down from the heavens and see Heal the Hood, the 100th celebration. And so we are doing that by starting the Infinity Healing Children's Corner. So that's the capacity that I'm in this year.
All right, now.
Hey, that's heavy. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Don't you do it.
I got a tambourine somewhere around here. Y'all better stop playing with me. I'll pull it out.
Hey, before my phone that messed up when I was talking before, but I was saying, like, I've been following Heal the Hood for a while now myself, and I saw.
Kamar
able to make the connection that was you, Jamila.
Oh wow. And he said he didn't know that was you. Now my sister, my other sister, Jolie, how you say? I will murder her name, correct me.
It's Jolie.
Jolie Brox.
Yeah.
Now what's your role in Heal the Hood?
So my role, I pretty much gave the title of one of the volunteer coordinators. So just kind of helping to get some of the volunteers together. We will have different shifts so we can kind of gather, give the opportunity for those in the community that, want to lend an extra helping hand. Also helping with the entertainment portion of Heal the Hood. And just to name some of the entertainment that we will have, Brother Ryan Washington is coming with the Djembe Nation, opening everything with the drumming, African dancing, and you know how it goes. Once that village circle opens up, others come around, start dancing, and it just turns into a whole good old time. And then, of course, we got MILWAUKEE Flyers. They're going to come and do their thing. Kia, Rap Princess, talented rap artist, is going to come and do her thing. Brother King Kamanzi, he's also going to come and do a performance for us. And then we have a special live band performance. So y'all don't want to miss that. Definitely want to be there for that. And then, of course, Homer Blow. He's going to be on the ones and twos, rocking us out throughout the whole day. So it's definitely going to be a day full of entertainment, full of activities, food, just a great fellowship. Everybody, I think, is really, really looking forward to. It's another family reunion, getting together at Heal the Hood. So that's my capacity, and I'm super excited.
Hey, it's a beautiful thing. Now I wanted to ask Ajamu a few questions because you've been doing this. You said this the 10th one. You said, right?
10 piece, yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so you say Heal the Hood, and we always talk about what's going on in our community on Outlaw Radio. So I just kind of wanted to throw some stuff out there in terms of why we need to heal the hood. Like some people say, well, why we need to heal the hood? Like, what's wrong with the hood? I think people need to understand. So obviously there's a very I don't know. I feel like there's a very kind of like pro-black angle that you have here, but like let's talk about some of the systematic ills of the neighborhood. Because I would like to believe these are some of the things that motivated you to do this, right? Like, so
Absolutely.
some of the things we face in the hood. So, and we always talk about being solution based. So, like, what would you think is the priority for us to like? What's going on in the hood that made you want to jump in and say, let's heal it?
It's a few things. Like I said, on that humble beginning tip, when I had my son, I loved on him, nurtured him. I had my village support, my parents, my siblings, so on and so forth, my friends. But I began to see like, damn, it's so many kids who do not have this. And it don't matter how well I raise my child, if I send one good one into a world of 1,000 bad ones, they gonna mess around and taint him. And so that's what made me say, like, I guess I can just start volunteering and mentoring a little bit. But through this journey thus far, the several key things that I realized, and let's be clear, when we're talking about rebuilding the greatness of Black America, it's 1.5 million various issues, right? All 6 of us on this call can name 10 different things in areas we think need to be developed in the Black community. My particular focus is mental health and dealing with social emotional trauma. I deal with so many youth who deal with so many traumatic adverse childhood experiences with no way to express that, no way to heal from that, no way to, kind of allow themselves to think through that, to process their emotions. I got students who have watched their parents die. I have kids who mother would rather go chase a bottle than get toilet tissue to put in the house. I got kids with abuse and so on and so forth. And so my goal is to say, listen, I understand that thing is hard. We're not excusing nothing, but what we are going to do is equip ourselves with a skill set to overcome, to cope, to overcome, to learn how to express that thing, because obviously it shows out in anger, substance abuse, and generational trauma. So that's one thing I'm big on, is getting our children to address their trauma and plow through that trauma. Not just, put a Band-Aid on cancer. We're going to plow through that trauma and give skill sets, because trauma is not a one-time thing. We all go through stuff as adults, as kids, as grandparents, when we get to that stage of life, so on and so forth. But if you have skill set, a blueprint, a map, you can, navigate that thing.
Okay, so
That was good.
let me ask you this,
I like
because
that
we had my sister
Thank
on
you,
here.
my love.
She's actually a friend of the show, Samantha Collier. And I know, to paint the town teal and whatnot. I seen that movement and we supported on Outlaw Radio. She's been on here. But so like something like resources, I want to talk about like offering the community resources, because people might say, oh, that's just, they just, dancing and shouting. They ain't doing nothing for the community. Ain't no healing going on. So like what community-based organizations that offer therapy or maybe some counseling for some people who are traumatized, or just any kind of dissemination of information, what resources are riding with y'all on this?
And the thing I like about our collaborators, our partners, our vendors at Heal the Hood, especially the resource ones, they don't come to play. So it's never going to just be informational. Like they never just going to give you a pamphlet and then send you to the next vendor. They be on site. They got counseling on site. We have various medical resources that's popping up on site, doing blood pressure testing and cholesterol testing and all of these various things. I think that's what Rob and Jolie started doing when they was first vending at Heal the Hood years ago. They will pull out the stethoscopes and the medical equipment and aid and assist on that. We got people who gonna have financial resources like jobs. Point blank period. Let's get straight to the nitty gritty. The hood need money. Couple years ago, we had Judge Derek Mosley. He came down and did driver's license. He was cleaning up people's driver's license right there on the spot. You ain't need to have no money, no forms, no jumping, no hoops. You give your information and your name. He had his computer and his setup. Boom, boom, boom. He cleared your tickets and everything. Got that license back restored right there on the spot. We always have people who come out with resources for fathers. That's one thing I'm big on as a dad. I know that we have limited resources to, just support our fathers in the community. So we always try to have that present. We've done STD testing on site. Obviously, COVID is a big thing. The educational aspect that we have on site, because that's another thing, right? To answer your previous question and then bring it back and make it relevant. And let me know if I'm teaching and preaching too fast. Mute me, stop me, because I swear to God, I don't have no brakes on my car. You hear me?
I paid the bill. I paid the bill. It's on. It's on. It's turned on. Ain't gonna turn it off.
I don't care how high the gas price is. I'm all gas, no brake. But anywho, again, to bring it to your first question and make it relevant to the second question, another area that I see needs to be developed in communities of color is the educational component. I ain't talking about just your standard, K through 12, then you got your collegiate level education. I'm talking about critical thinking skill. I'm talking about creative thinking skills. Our kids can't, their world is so black and white. There is no color. They don't know how to say. See, when I was in school, we was taught the if-then statements, right? If this happens, then that happens. If I touch the stove, then my hand gonna burn. Nowadays, our kids are taught to move off emotion. What we say 0 to 100, nigga, real quick. So our kids don't even have that time to process before they get to 100. So creative thinking and education, teaching our kids not what to think, but how to think, right? So again, now to bring it back relevant to your second question, we always have a ton of educational resources from early educational centers. We always have high schools present. UW Platteville is one of our huge sponsors. And I definitely want to shout out some of our sponsors in a little bit. But we pushing, man, culture, community, and education. Again, so I could literally go on and on and on and on about the various issues that I see us facing. But those are my top two, dealing with that mental and that emotional trauma piece, and then teaching our babies creative ways of thinking so that life becomes a little bit more easier for them.
Look, shout out to my chat room. My chat room is always popping, man. That's my information gang. We known as the word mob around here. Y'all gotta excuse us. Shout out to Crystal Ship. She said if you tuned in, stop by Meatless Monday. I don't even know why I'm reading it. I can put it on the screen. If you tuned in, stop by Meatless Monday and get some lavender lemonade or body butter. Book a session with Agape Yoga Tree. Excuse me. Book.
Yeah, it's yoga because it's a yoga. It's a yoga ministry.
Oh, okay.
It's a yoga ministry. It's a yoga.
I said it. It didn't sound literate, so I tried to back up off of it. Like, no, he didn't just say.
No, you said it right.
I didn't say. Shout out to Crystal Ship and Control C, man. Yes. We support Black business. Miss Courtney, welcome to the show. You kind of stepped in late, and you and Kamar, feel free to jump in if y'all got questions or comments. I don't want to, you know how I get with this microphone, right?
Hey, like every time I talk, my phone cut off or something, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna shut up. But no, what I was saying earlier was, I've been following Heal the Hood for a while, right? And I remember seeing all the different martial arts demonstrations, and all this time I never connected the dots that was you, Jamila.
I want to get back to the martial arts. I want to talk about the martial arts. So you like for real kung fu with it? Like what's your
ass?
Come on now, let's be cool with that.
Well, oh my God.
I'm just saying, man. She got a hell of a drop kick.
Brother Mayor, sir, I can throw hands or I can lay hands. Listen, I
told
you, I don't belong to the church. I belong to the street. I'm outside. I'm certified. I have been a Taekwondo Hall of Fame. Please, right. I know killer, but no book.
I've been known to be somewhat of an expert in pugilistic arts myself, so I ain't no stranger to danger, right? I knew the job was dangerous when I took it. We won't talk about that. We won't talk about that. Just the new me.
We don't talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about all that.
This the Heal the Hood me. This the Heal the Hood me, right? But no. So like, okay, and I want first of all, let's tell the people when is Heal the Hood. We talking people like, damn, when is it? So when is it and where is it?
Jolie, talk to us. When is Heal the Hood coming up, sis?
Heal the Hood is coming up on May 28th, and it's going to be located off of between 1st and 3rd off of Clark Street, and it's going to be from 11 to 5.
Okay.
It's between 1st and 3rd and right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So now, did they put any kind of COVID restrictions on you all? Like, is this a mask mandate? How we rolling with this? Because the COVID's still out here creeping. I know we out here in the club and everything, but it's still creeping.
COVID is still creeping. We shut it down in 2020. We bounced back in 2021, and we actually had scheduled 2 Heal the Hoods in 2021, but we only did our one in May because the numbers had spiked back up in August. So we are more than aware, of the critical state, especially in communities of color. We definitely are aware of the state, but we try to push mask mandate. We try to stretch ourselves out. So now we're doing 2-3 blocks instead of just 1 block to give people a little bit more elbow room. But I'll be honest with you, the one we did last year, we had about 1,500 people in that joint. We had about 1,500 people, so it ain't too much that we can do to control social distancing. But we listen, at the end of the day, murder, violence, trauma, all that shit still gonna happen whether COVID is around or not. So we still got to pull up and do our job, somehow or another.
Yeah, I didn't know if the city had put any mandates on you, but this is another thing, like a point of contention that I always like to do. Like, so who's the alderman in that district?
Alderwoman Malele Cobbs.
Okay, now has her support been pretty thorough for you?
Man, listen, brother. I got pictures of me and Malele back 10 years ago. Really, I got pictures of us 12, 13 years ago, when I was a young boy. But when I first started Heal the Hood, Malele has never told me no to nothing. And the thing about it is, I know we all got our views on the political folks, and me and Malele done had discord. I ain't gonna say anything is just rainbows. I disagree with some political, moves that be made down in City Hall and things. But as it pertains to this Heal the Hood thing and a politician who put her feet to the concrete, man, listen, can't nobody tell me nothing about Malele. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes we talk on this show about the lack of leadership, Black leadership in particular, and the Common Council has really just been seriously silent, and it's just not a whole lot of leadership coming off that end of the couch, and it's been that way for a long time. So we often equate their silence with complicity. So I feel like they're complicit with all the things that go on. But shout out to her if she's giving you support. I've actually done in 20 years of social service and education, I've done some aldermanic walks with her in that district. I've seen her in the community. And I'm calling out the entire Common Council, not just her. But I do understand, my outlaw people wouldn't be like, Kev, you got to call them now. Don't be on there playing. Don't be playing friendly.
That's it. No, that's it. That's it.
So I just wanted to just see if she had that support that she should, because honestly, as the alderman in that district, she should be supporting you wholeheartedly. It's bringing something important to her community, to our community, but her district. I'm sorry. Now, we're going to talk about this mayoral election, because I guess my question was, has either mayoral candidate reached out to you and tried to, hitch themselves to your wagon and say, I want to come through and kiss some babies or something?
Look, I'm gonna tell you like this, dear brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm non-confrontational, so you ain't gonna catch me online saying this, that, the third. I know who I would have loved to see. I know who I would have loved to see I would have loved to see Queen Lena Taylor. I would have loved to see Lena Taylor, because Lena Taylor been 10 toes down since I've been a young buck around. You know what I'm saying? Lena Taylor, she ain't never been one to, come and have a little photo op and then bounce. And I'm only talking from my perspective. People got beef with Lena. I don't know all about that. I'm just talking about what she done for me and mine. And as it pertains to this movement of Heal the Hood, and as it pertains to Fit for You and different things that Jamila has done in our particular village, man, listen, I would have loved to see, Lena in position.
Okay, so now I want to make this clear too for people tuning in. I wasn't even asking about Lena. I was asking about Chevy or Peeping Tom.
I know
Okay, I wasn't talking about Lena. Shout out to Lena. Lena's a friend of the show. Lena been on Outlaw Radio. She's a general as well. So it's that type of shit going on. So yeah, we tight with Lena. That ain't no issue there. I'm saying, did old Peeping Tom say he wanted to come down there and at least front and try to get our vote, or the little bitty Chevy say, come down and bring a news crew with? I mean, so none of them have reached out to you. I guess that's what I'm trying to,
Chevy, so we some years back, I think this was maybe like 2017, we did Heal the Hood in Chevy District up there on like 107th and Fond du Lac, way in the high numbers. And he was definitely supportive at that season. Maybe he just hadn't made time for it yet, but I ain't heard from the big brother.
So in other words, no, he hasn't reached. Hey, Outlaw, word mob, no. Chevy ain't reached out to Heal the Hood. Let's just.
I'm taking notes on that. I'm gonna type that in the book.
Right? I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm not confrontational. I love on who loves on me. That and that's all my.
I don't love everybody. I hate some people. I tell some people.
But I tell you right now, though, big brother, this movement ain't for everybody. This is a very controversial movement, because we don't hold our tongue about nothing. We get straight to the business. We are about spiritual development. We're not about schism. We ain't about how many Facebook lives and picture ops and all that shit. Man, we really do this. So hey,
I mean, you got a whole kung fu sister with you. Now, from what I see in the chat room, Crystal Ship said that this is Black business owners here. That's on the stream. Did we lose them? They said we'll bring them back. Okay. So we always big up Black business. So if everybody represents their own business here. So we know about my brother Kamar with Meatless Monday and Nature's in the Turf. Courtney, you didn't represent yours. Represent your business for the people.
No, we shouting out Alkies Wellness, and also the podcast and YouTube channel Conversations with Francois. That's me. Yes.
Okay. Courtney, keep the video links going up. People be on there like, that's right, sister. Keep on talking. Hey, Courtney. And my sister, she just came back, Miss Carney. You are a Black business owner as well, correct?
Indeed, I am.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. He was like, and what?
And is. So I am a movement artist. I actually do a couple things. I run Agape Yoga Street, which is a yoga ministry where we align the body, breath, and the spirit with that of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, which in my opinion is divine alignment, right? And so we talk about the practice of yoga and how it is uniting. And so the God in me honors the God in you. And so the practice of yoga is really discovering and unlocking and empowering the God that is in you in order to change the world. I also do discovering and nurturing creative energy, which is just a movement business where I consult with various dance ministries and teams throughout the city. I also work with youth groups providing just kind of dance education and arts education in schools, daycares, community-based organizations, and things of that nature. So those are the things that I'm into at this moment.
Oh, okay.
Where the claps at, Care? Where the sound effect hit it? Yeah.
You give her the ultimate compliment. Voila. My sister, you have a business as well, right? My sister.
Yes. So I am co-owner of Fit for You MKE, along with my husband Rob Brox. We are the king and queen of the Lavender Lemonade here in the city. And we also specialize in fitness. Due to COVID, we kind of slowed down on the fitness piece. My husband would bring the gym to the client's home, place of work, school, church. We've done community boot camp sessions. So right now, our focus is getting ready to open up our storefront space, which is going to be located in the plaza off of Titonia Florist. So we're aiming for a grand opening for this summer, and then looking to start getting the group workouts started again. So be looking out for that.
That's what's up, man. And that's what we always talk about Black business, and it's so important that we support each other. So a lot of times our people have businesses and we don't even know about them. We just don't network enough, man. We don't network enough. And if nothing else, I would hope people, Black entrepreneurs and people who want to really influence change in the community would be having a lot of solidarity around Heal the Hood. So I would think you gotten phone calls from everybody who wants to help, wants to pitch in, wants to be a part of what you're doing. So my brother, do you have anybody you want to shout out in particular who's been kind of crucial to what you're doing?
Absolutely. We got some amazing sponsors this year, man. My good brother Marvin Washington with Secure World Security and Loss Prevention Services. UW Platteville, they stay pulling up. Like, how can we support? How can we build that bridge? How can we, in the fall, we're gonna be busting some kids up to UW Platteville just to, get some kids that ain't never been outside of Birdlight. We're gonna take them up to a college campus and, give them that exposure. Shout out to 414 Life MKE. They so excited about Heal the Hood every year, and they gonna play a real critical, dope role in making sure that the whole hood gets taken care of on May 28th. Shout out to Milwaukee County. Milwaukee County has signed on to sponsor and support. And shout out to the city of Milwaukee, OVP, Office of Violence Prevention. They have been sponsoring us for years, man. 1 year we did 4 Heal the Hoods. That was a serious feat, man. We did May, June, July, and August. That joint was serious. That's the year we did it in Chevy District. And that was due to the Office of Violence Prevention and 414 Life, man, really supporting us heavy. So, shout out to the guys, man.
That's what's up. And about 6 years ago, it was down on Keith, and I came with the Panthers. I was running with the Panthers at the time, and I was walking around. It was the first time I had been, and I was walking around. I remember seeing all the vendors and all the booths, and the nation was there, and the brothers in suits, and it was going down. It was going down, and all of a sudden, I realized why we had been called to be there at the time, which was security, because some sisters got to fighting, and I had to disarm her and one of them and take a shovel from her. My point is,
that was on First and Keith, wasn't it? That was on First and Keith. Yeah.
Yes. And rest in peace to my good brother Carl, man, the rock and roll preacher, man.
Yes.
So that was my brother, man, because he seen it right. I said, brother, you saw that quick, didn't you? I said, yeah, she had a shovel. I seen it. I took it from her quick because you ain't finna hit me in the back of my head. But I'm not trying to rain on the parade. I wanted to allude to the violence in the community. So I want to know, when you go into these neighborhoods, do you get to go in before and kind of talk to the people and say, can we get a moratorium on any kind of violence or aggression? There may be kids down here walking. If you got beef with another cat, we from the same, especially in that area where we was at. All is well in that area, but it's always been I'm very familiar with that area. I grew up on 17th and Capitol, so that was just a stone's throw away, and we was aligned with a lot of those brothers down there. So it can get hectic. So do you get to go and speak? Do it give you an opportunity to go to maybe some sort of meetings and tell the people, look, everybody chill, it's Heal the Hood? Yeah, I mean, they should be chilling anyways, but especially like I said, it's maybe elderly people or children out just kind of enjoying the day. So how do you go about creating that?
It's funny you say that, because that particular block party on First and Keith, we had some niggas from the hood. They, I don't know how they got my number. They calling my phone. Hey, we heard you got Heal the Hood going on. You ain't checked in with gang and them down here, and so and so the OG homie and woo woo woo. So we pulled up, me and a couple of my guys, and we realized we in the jungle. You understand? So we went to be diplomatic, but Prophet Muhammad, to our Muslim family, he came with the Quran and he came with the sword. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to take this love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, or I'm going to bust your head and then love you on the back end. But nonetheless, we checked in with them brothers and we let them know the mission, the intent, the goal, and the grind to heal the hood. But we always do pre-walkthroughs. We try to do that several times, and we always pull up in the hood. We be like 15 deep. Everybody take a big old stack of Heal the Hood flyers, and we all kind of go, north, south, east, west, hit a 3, 4, 5 block radius. We always tap in with the businesses in the particular areas, hanging up posters, signage. We always do billboards in the area. So we always make sure that before we come to a hood, we don't just pull up and be like, hey, y'all, this is us on 1 or 2 days. And now we gone. We let them know, like, hey, bring your mama out, your granny out, every resource that y'all gonna need, housing, financial, health, mental health, spiritual shit for the kids is be available at Heal the Hood. And you're gonna get free food, dope entertainment. Just come parlay with us. So yeah, we always walk through.
And okay, so with that said, like, okay, we look at the city right now. We know that the murder, the homicide in our community, in the city, but most of it happens in our community. Let's be honest about it. It's up 100%. So murders are double what they were at this time last year. So have you taken extra steps to be more vigilant this year to say, hey, we got to have some people on point? Because I for lack of a better term, there's really no code for a lot of cats nowadays that's in the streets. They, it's something as precious as Heal the Hood, but they'll still, do what they got to do with no respect. So are you extra vigilant just to make sure the baby's safe?
I'm gonna say this, and I don't want to say too much because we do have a very tight security operation with Heal the Hood nowadays. So we do have uniform, security. We also have plain security. We also got a team of brothers. I could imagine if Brother Kamar on site, at his vendor table, and he sees something pop off over there, Big Bro gonna hop in security mode. So that's the thing. We build community. So we make sure that the brothers is on point. We got sisters on point. Jamila, you understand what I'm saying? So yeah, we definitely make sure that we have that security element locked down as best as we can. Again, you're dealing with 1,500 people, so we ain't trying to over police the situation. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to, be monitoring everybody and so on and so forth. But it's like, listen, these babies, they will go untouched and they will be safe. I want to tell this quick story right quick. We did a Heal the Hood on 24th and Burline. I can't remember the year per se. It's been 10 years. I don't even remember nowadays. Okay, but nonetheless, we was on 24th and Burline, and this elder woman, this grandmother, comes up to me with 2 young ladies. They was probably like 7, maybe 8, 9, and one of them, she was disfigured. She had a scar on her face. She had been hit by a straight bullet. And grandma told us that, and I got the picture with the young girl. I still am friends with the grandmother and everything, but nonetheless, she told us that they had not took this girl nowhere in public since that incident because it's trauma. It's trauma. The little girl, like 7, 8, getting shot in her face and shit. She said, I just want to thank you. She said, I know you run this thing. I just want to thank you. We are enjoying ourselves. They got face painting, free food, it's safe, blah, blah, blah. I will never forget that. That memory is tattooed in my spirit. You see what I'm saying? And as long as we can continue to produce that type of energy and element, we're going to be all right.
Okay. So now you did speak about, well, I referenced poverty, and you kind of echo my sentiment. And I always talk about, I talk about what's going on in the community, and we try to look for solutions. one of my angles is that I feel like poverty in Milwaukee for so long for Black people, it's become generational to a certain degree, and it's so entrenched the kind of culture of power. I call it the culture of dysfunction, but there's a certain kind of culture that goes with abject poverty. And I've always felt like, because I grew up here, like I ain't even scared to say my age. I'm 46 years old. So I was born in the 70s. So I actually remember when Black people in this city had the highest standard of living in the country. But that was due to the fact that there was a lot of employment. There was a lot of gainful employment in which you could raise a family. That's been removed, and we know it may be sort of systemic that a lot of our leaders have not demanded the reestablish of some sort of industrial or whatever it may be structure to our economy, our local Black economy. But so I always say we got to attack poverty, and you're in these communities with some of where the shit goes down at. So like do we have resources available so the young brothers can like go to MATC? Can they look into trades? Can I get
Absolutely.
next to, man, I want to go back to school? Because sometimes if you talk to the corner boys, one of them will slide up to you and say something like that. Man, you know what? You know how I can get back to school? Yeah, here you go,
Come
little
on.
dog. Right, right.
Come
So let's
on.
talk about that. How are we taking these brothers? Because we got to get them. If we're gonna ask them to lead the street, we got to have somewhere for them to go. Right. So what's the connection here?
I want to say this, and then I want to pass it to my sisters, and I want to segue on why I want to pass it to the queens, because I feel like both of them got some ridiculously valuable information on how they can answer this particular question.
Okay.
But for myself, again, like you said, a young brother come up to me and say, "Hey, Heal the Hood, I'm trying to lead the streets. I'm trying to lead a dope game. I want to do right, but shit is hard, right? I got bills, I got kids, I got this, I got that. Brother, take your time." Right? Rome wasn't built overnight. The pyramids wasn't built overnight. I understand the struggle of being in these streets, bro. Some days I'm 1 foot in and 1 foot out the game. You hear what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. But what I tell them brothers is, let's feed your desire. So where do we start at, right? So we're not gonna start today with your master degree, but let's schedule us a tour at MATC. Jolie husband got a ton of connections down at MATC, so we can get him connected with trades, this, and the third, because it's not always about the fancy degree. Let's get some hands-on skill. This year we got a brother. We just did a podcast interview with him like a week and a half ago, but he's an engineer, and he wants to have a table because he finna start this intern program where he teaching young brothers and sisters the trade, teaching them the business of the trade and the actual, you know what I'm saying, trade itself. Come on, big brother, we need you to have a table, so on and so forth. But I want to segue the question. I think that my big sisters might have a more eloquent answer. One, Jamila is something serious. She is in a house full of men. She is the only woman. So when you talk about how do we rear Black boys or how can we guide them or give them structure, I think she has some element. And I want to say the same for Jolie. You know, my brother, Jolie is my sister-in-law. My brother Rob, he a cold dude, but he's nothing without this Black woman by his side. And I do believe that these Black women are the backbones to their particular households and the particular communities and industries they in. So if I can, I would love to segue to the queens. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, well, let's get that lady's answer.
So the beauty of Heal the Hood is that not only are there those tangible resources, but there are those intangible resources that are in the vendors. Almost 99.999% of the vendors at Heal the Hood are people of color. They are entrepreneurs. They have found a niche in the industry and they are fruitful and prosperous. And so to have Jay Riley earrings in the building, to have what's my girlfriend that got the t-shirt, the Black is Beautiful t-shirts, to have the authors, Books and Juice, or somebody manning Ajimu's table, to have Rashida Butler and her consulting agency there, to have her husband Marcel there with Ambition MKE. We are bringing businesses into the community and running them smack dab in the faces of individuals so that they can see with their own eyes that this is available. I mean, how many Black yogis do you know out there? And how many Black-owned yoga studios do you know? that are out there. But these are the people who are at Heal the Hood to say, listen, I had a dream. I chased the dream. That dream is a reality. Sharing their humble beginning stories. You know, Ajamu shares his story with any and everybody. For Jolie and Rob to share their story about the Lavender Lemonade, and not only out there selling it, but also offering individuals a free sample of it. So even if you don't have money to purchase, this is a community. And so outside of those tangible resources that we have, there are those intangible resources where people can see themselves. The best way to get somewhere is to see yourself in that place. And so the vendors provide that opportunity for us to see ourselves where we want to go.
Okay. And once again, I want people to know what resources are available. That's why I ask these questions, because I know Black people, you know, we like to get together, right? We tend to like to hang out. We tend to like to get some food going on the grill, little music, little spades in the background. We have a good time. Somebody go to dancing, and we like to get together and do this, right? But then it's over, and then the community is just left with nothing. So I'm asking these questions so people can understand that there's an opportunity where they can connect with some resources that could help them long term. It's cool to have a good time, but you want to keep the party going. You don't want to just, damn, a Jamu and them gone is all bad. You want to be able to still connect and be able to build off of what you all put down in the community. Go ahead, brother.
And I was gonna say before I, hand it over to Jolie, because I love it. Let's keep it practical. Let's keep it tangible. Let's make it make sense, right? Because it's a block party, but it's a resource fair. Right. So again, some of the vendors, and I was looking for my vendor spreadsheet. By the time I come back on the air, I have all my vendor and I shout them all out. But some of the resources we have, Miss Clarissa Lawrence, she just actually registered today and locked in. She is a licensed nurse practitioner. Her company, they be having like this huge setup, man, and they do any and all medical resource, testing that you need. We always have the Boys and Girls Club, the Running Rebels, COA is always present. And again, those are just elements to get the kids involved. The Girl Scouts, they always sprinkle themselves in. They ain't been there the last couple of years, but I think they did reach out to us this year. And again, those are just things to get the kids involved. Again, I just mentioned the brother who will have his table with the engineering resources. We have Medical College of Wisconsin showing up with resources. Like I said, Platteville will be there. I think UWM actually reached out to us. They want to do some recruitment and some enrollment on site. So those are just some of the preliminary ones we got going on. By the time we hop back on air with you next month, I'll be able to name a slew of everybody on deck with intangible resources.
And you know what? Shout out to you, because you just reminded me that you are coming back again. So I don't have to blow my load. Can I say blow my load on a positive show? I don't want to mess it up. I want the children to be able to hear. Can I say that? Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I stepped out of bounds. I'm back. I got to recenter myself sometimes. But no, so I think it's important that we have resources, man. And like, employment right now is a word that I think a lot of young brothers need to hear, because there's some opportunities for them to get in on the ground floor with a lot of the hottest industries. Like, you got to understand that right now, and not that I believe what politicians say, but I look at the way things are going, there's going to be an investment in rebuilding the infrastructure of America, the bridges, the streets, the train tracks, whatever, what have you. And there's a lot of jobs that you can get within those fields where you could take care of your family. You can get your feet on the ground. Young brothers don't know about them a lot. Once upon a time, I worked at MATC giving students tours, high school students, MPS students tours of the campus. And it always tripped me out that they would be so fascinated by the cosmetologist department, the photography, the video, sometimes the chef, the culinary arts joint. But when we got to CNC machining, when we got to plumbing, when we got to HVAC, they had no interest. And I used to have to check them, like, take them damn things out your ear and listen. You understand? Like, this is something that you could be picking up on where you can make $100,000 a year doing. So a lot of times, like I said, it's not just, telling people, get in, stop being poor. It's your fault you poor. Sometimes we got to tell them, no, you can get out of your situation if you're proactive in pursuing this resource, not just a speech. Here you go get it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'll keep putting the emphasis on that. So
hey, and let me throw this out there too. And I want to shout. I'm in the Facebook comments. I want to shout out my sister Crystal Ship. Crystal Ship is a ball of fire. Do you hear me? I love this Black woman, but her comment just reminded me. She said, "Heal the Hood is 365." What makes the block party so successful? I thank you, God, for clarity and revelation. What makes the block party so successful? Because this is just 1-2 things that we do over the summer. Is the shit we do throughout the year. So one of my jobs, my literal hats that I wear, yes, I'm the community engagement and parent liaison at a local high school. So my role at that high school is, when it comes to our after school programming and our extracurricular activities, like our electives, plug in the community. So since I've been there for the last 6 years, we've had yoga curriculum, STEM, we had several different STEM curriculums. We had them kids in there building their own video games, right? Making contraptions out of CDs and batteries and rubber bands and
Right.
you know what I'm saying, wires. We brought in gardening, we brought in martial arts, we brought in sewing. We had a sister teaching them sewing, practical skill sets. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm appreciative that Ship just said that in the commentary, because it made me remember, like, Heal the Hood is just one day, and there's only so much we can do. But that day would be nothing. We can't get 1,500 in attendance if we don't grind throughout the year and put our face in all of these after school programs and parental programs, and you know what I'm saying. So that's really where the bulk of it come from. Jolie, I'm sorry I took your shine, sis. You know I love you, sis. I sure took your little.
No, it's all love. I actually wanted to just kind of add on to what Jamila was saying as far as the tangible resources. And, just for another example, that, my husband Rob is co-vice president of Cream Skills Inc. And so that's a co-ed basketball league for the youth, and all of the team owners are Black owned entrepreneurs in the city. And so during the summer, they have their basketball games and things like that. But then once a week, they have training camps. And at the training camps, they allow the entrepreneurs, those business owners, to come in and really hone in and talk more about their business, what they do in the community. So this gives the youth the opportunity to really learn about, a lot of the businesses that are out here, a lot of the Black owners, what they're doing. So that gives them that platform to see some other opportunities for them, whether it's a job, whether it's a career, or just networking and getting into the right doors with the right people.
Listen to me, Kevin, listen to me. I'm gonna say this, and I'm sorry, I got chills over my body because a brother just commented in the comments and said he would like to bring the electrical trade to the event as a vendor. This is what I'm saying. This is what Heal the Hood is about. So without brothers like you, I wouldn't be connected to the brother. You see what I'm saying? So that's what makes Heal the Hood sustainable. This is real community. So without your platform, we would have missed a resource that these young brothers and sisters can tap into. So this is, I got chills over my body, man.
Well, first of all, shout out to Dre Day, who's a friend of the show. Dre Day, he's always supported Outlaw Radio. I mean, this is year 7 for me. So Dre Day's been around. He's been supporting us for a long time. So shout out to that brother. And,
big supporter of Nathan Deter also. My bad, Kev, but big supporter of Nathan Deter also, man.
Yeah, man. And one thing you'll find, and I can say this about my show, and even shout out to people who've hit the Cash App, because believe it or not, there's a Cash App running across the bottom of that screen. And there's people who've hit me randomly and just like, here, brother. So, and it ain't about that, but I'm saying there's a lot of support that comes through the People's Network and Outlaw Radio, with brothers like Dre Day and other people who are oftentimes in the chat room. Crystal Ship is always on fire, her and Ticey Goodsey, in the chat room for Outlaw Radio. So
dope. I enjoy being a part of this so much. You know what I mean? We done had, excuse me. We done have people come on the show with different issues that they're going through in the community. And it would be somebody that's watching the show that can help them. They connect right away. Boom, boom, bam, and right away. Remember a while back when the pandemic first started, Kev, and they was cutting the Wi-Fi boxes off the houses up there in Hunted? And the sister called into the show and was complaining about that. And somebody connected them, man. In like 2-3 days, everybody was back running. Kids back in school doing their thing. Man, I just appreciate being on this show, man. And, walk your walk. So that's it. We all walking our walk. Kevin doing what he loves. And that's this whole Outlaw Radio thing. I'm doing what I love. I get to touch people. I get to talk to different people. I get to listen to stories. I get to, you know what I'm saying? This is all stuff I love. We doing what we love, man. This is it, man. That's what Heal the Hood is all about too, right? Finding what you love and doing that.
You said that, Kamar. I want to shout out Chantel Gwynn too, because they're having donor drives for aplastic anemia. It's Team Kaylin Strong. So she is another person who came came on the show, got emotional, caught me off guard because I'm really a sensible savage. I don't really cry, nothing like that, or listen to Boys to Men. But she got emotional. It kind of made me a little misty on the microphone that night. But people jumped right in, man. That sister got so much support. She's all over the place. Antonia Anderson with the Hip Hop Museum 365, jumping out the gym, right? And she was first on here. Shout out to Antonia. So it's always love, man. And that's the whole reason. That's why I say, if you got something to offer to people, offer it to them, but have them be able to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, so like what you do, and we talk about the distribution of resources and information to people is very important. I would like to see some of these big money people who throw money at all kinds of band-aid on the bullet wound type of solutions to throw some your way to establish this as a foundation with a little bit more reach and structure, you know, and not to criticize the structure that you have because I don't know it, but I'm saying just get a building, make a center, a community center somewhere where people can come, the Heal the Hood Center. Yeah. So do I have to apply or where should I send my resume? Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying.
My mama, that's on his way. And I promise to God, I'm not gonna say too much. What I am gonna say is this. I didn't even want to do Heal the Hood this year. I had a lot of things going on in my personal life, and see, both my sisters know they'll bear witness. You understand? Had a lot of shit on my plate, and I'm like, I really don't even want to do the block party. And so I called Jamila, I called Rob and Jolie, called my cousin Ashley. I said, listen, y'all, I need team, I need village right now. Can we take this thing a step further? They like, bet, we got you. And so I can promise you this, man. Give us a couple years, man. We got some shit up the avenue that's gonna come, man, because we gotta revolutionize the movement. So we're gonna teach and preach. We're gonna keep doing the block parties, but what's the next step? What's the next step? And that's something that's on the back burner, man, for real.
And shout out to Sarai Williams, Sair Williams. He said he'd like to invite you to the morning shift MKE as well, which is a show that they do on 102.5 The Pulse, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, my brother. But he's also a supporter of Outlaw Radio. And he said he wanted to invite you all on there to talk about Heal the Hood too. So that's even more people that you'll be able to contact, man. Information gang, man. Word mob. Yeah, man. All day. So look, okay, so I know it's almost, well, okay, we got a little time. It's 8. I don't want to keep y'all up all night, but I get to talking, man, and I forget. So, but I do have some other things I want to talk about with you, some specific things, because I wanted to know, like, we referenced the violence, but like, you talk to young brothers, and I know you work with young brothers in the schools. I know you engage in mentorship and that kind of thing. So what's your message? Like, what do we need to be getting together to do in the community to deal with the violence? In particular, kind of like the nature or the mentality of a lot of our young brothers, because we know they run hot as a firecracker. So like, what kind of messages do you give these young brothers when you got their ear?
Man, I'm so practical with these young dogs. I'm so to the point. I don't have no time because young black boys. Okay, I'm gonna talk specifically about the black boys that I mentor. Young black boys, they've been through so much shit, and they've been around the block so many times that if I sit up and Google Gaga in their face and get them some little ookie spooky message and try to inspire them with big words that rhyme and things, I'm gonna lose them before I, before I even get started. So there was a scenario, and I had put it on Facebook recently. Just I tell people, man, learn what you will from the interactions I put on Facebook. But nonetheless, we had a school basketball game, one of the schools I work for. We had a young brother and his guy. They came to the basketball game, but this particular young brother had been expelled for fighting. As a part of the expulsion, you can't come to know, prom, basketball, blah, blah, blah. So he got mad that we turned him away at the door, and he bucking up. Now he talking all of this stuff. So I'm watching security handling him rough. Now I'm knowing Lil Bro needs some direction, some redirection. He needs somebody not to handle him physically rough. He needs some critical thinking, right? So I told the security, I said, bro, let me holler at Lil Bro right quick. I know that's one of my old students. I said, my dog, what's going on? So he, right. I said, first of all, calm down right here. You ain't got to yell at me. I can hear you very clear. So boom, right there. When he lowered his tone, I knew I won. Because now the nigga ain't even mad no more at this point. So he's explaining to me what's going on. Oh, man, I'm finna shoot this thing up. Woo, woo, woo. I said, bro, it's a $5 basketball game. You want to shoot the thing up for a $5 basketball game? And I said, that's how gangster you is nowadays. His guy kind of looking like it already registered to his guy. Like, damn, that make a whole lot of sense, right? And then I said, my son in here. So I said, let's say you call your man's name, they bring the blick, y'all blow it down and you shoot my son. Now I got an issue with you. So he kind of thought about it. Then he tried to, but yeah, man, they going to tell me. I said, brother, it's a $5 basketball game. I said, bro, call your Uber, go smoke you a blunt or something when you get home and go play Xbox. But trying to be a gangster and shoot the venue up, that's not where it's at. That's not where it's at. And I just told him straight like that. I don't sugarcoat with these young cats,
Right.
you know. But that's a minor situation. I knew I could calm him down. I would have been in the heat of situations where, like, fam, my life might be on the line. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to play my role to protect and respect the hood, if you will.
Right. So it's about de-escalation and then reasoning. So if you got them together in a group, the first thing you want to do is let them know that you understand that they mad. I understand most of y'all pissed off, and I'm not gonna tell y'all not to be. I'm gonna tell you how to manage it, how to channel it. Now, I do got to go off into a little controversy. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be Outlaw Radio if I didn't. One of the things that this whole that we've been on, and I actually, first of all, let me say I'll be back on tomorrow night with the Big Black Sports Show, which is our sports show that we do on the People's News Network. I mean the People's Network. Then Wednesday we'll be back with another Outlaw Radio. I got some guests coming up. I don't even want to tell people who's coming. And then normally I do Thursday, which is Outlaw Nation. Last week I didn't do it simply because I was tired of talking about Will Smith and Chris Rock, right? But one of the things that came kind of like to the forefront in this whole discussion was, in my opinion, black masculinity. And people start talking about toxicity and you know, people start throwing terms around. I don't even know. You know, some people just be talking just to hear themselves talk. Yeah, I seen that on Instagram. Like, you know, some of us old folks don't need no damn Instagram because we be on some bullshit. You know, do you know what you shared? Like, but I mean, people. So black masculinity it became a thing where, oh, it was good to see a black man stand up for his wife, as if it ain't a bunch of us brothers who hold their families down, protect their families, be on point for our kids. Like you just talking about telling a brother who got a pistol in his waist, hey man, my son in there. So number one reason for you not to start no shit, okay? So I feel like, and there's a force feeding of the homosexual agenda. So every time we start talking about our rights as black people, somebody tries to ease the LGBTQ thing in there. And I'm not saying they don't deserve any kind of rights. I'm saying, in my opinion, my humble opinion, it's two different things, right? Gay ain't the new black. Black is the new black and the old black and the original black. And ain't no replacing it or upgrading it or uploading or whatever the fuck they do, right? Excuse my French. So I'm saying the message is about black masculinity. How do we give this to our brothers and sisters and say this ain't toxic? Or sisters who are looked at as angry. And you can't have nothing with a black woman. You got to get you a white woman if you want your credit to go up. You know all the tomfoolery that we say, right? Like, so I feel like the whole LGBTQ thing it can be kind of over. They do too much, as my son say, trying to force feed their agenda. And we lose what real black masculinity is and what black femininity is. And we start saying, okay, let's walk this line and say, oh, you got on a mini skirt and I know you a dude, but I can't say, man, James, why you got on a dress? So like how do you work with them? How do you include them into what you do?
Listen to me, brother. Listen to me, man. I don't care about none of that.
Okay.
Let me be clear with you. My black son sitting right here next to me. My prayer is that he marries a black woman. He have black kids, so on and so forth. But I want you to understand me clear. When it comes to this movement, Heal the Hood, if you believe that the hood can be a better place and you have a resource for the hood and you want to play a role with the hood, I don't care who you land with. Now, do I believe that there is a agenda to dull black masculinity? And now we hear the term toxic masculinity. Why can't it be divine masculinity? You know, why do me as a black man standing up for things and protecting things? Why do I got to be aggressive or the angry black man and blah, blah, blah? But I ain't going to lie to you, Big Kev. That ain't a conversation I really too much engage in because if you want me to be honest with you, I got some homies that wear skirts and they go harder for the children in their lives. They go harder in the school system than they work in. There's some dudes who I know that chase skirts all day. You understand? I got women who wear pants and they do more for the communities that they're a part of than women I know wear dresses. So I don't really get too heavy off in that political conversation. I have my own belief system. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want my black boy next to me. I would prefer for him to live a certain lifestyle, but if he chooses an alternative lifestyle, that's still my son. You understand? So I don't really get too much into them conversations, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. Hey, you know, everything ain't for everybody. I just feel like when you start attacking heterosexual people and making us feel like we wrong, like I'm wrong because I'm straight, or if I tell my son, like you just said, I want you to be straight, and all of a sudden you're a homophobe. What the hell? What do one got to do with two? So I just wanted to get your opinion on it. My sisters, feel free to chime in. I mean, and this is once again, this is not about being anti, because I don't know if you got somebody who's already involved with Heal the Hood that's saying I'm gonna be down there too. Go ahead, my sister.
We have to understand that every human was created in the image and likeness of the Creator. So every human is a reflection from some angle of the Creator. And once we realize the God in me and realize the God in you is the same God, we can get this work done. We're talking about healing the heart. So like Ajamu, blue, black, red, green, orange, brown, however you show up in the world, I'm going to honor you how you show up. And that's how we heal the hearts. We honor people for how they want to show up in the world.
And let me say this too, Jamila. I'm black as hell. In any environment I'm in, I'm unapologetically for the uplifting, the salvation, the liberation, the creation, the revolution, the revelation of the Black community. However, I got allies out here in the world. I understand diplomacy. I understand what it means to build village and community. I understand what it means to. My father always taught me that the body has different systems that got to work together to make that thing function. Your kidney ain't more important than your lungs. Your spleen ain't more important than your toenails and your eyelashes. Every part of the body got a role to play. So, you know, like I said, I got my own belief system and my own, you know, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. We're going to operate how we operate, so on and that, so forth. However, listen.
Yeah, and y'all know what? Y'all treading on some on some hot water now. Now we outlawing. Now we doing what outlaw and see, the reason why I said this because one of the most controversial topics that we have on this show, and it's an ongoing, consistent thing, and anybody in the chat room who's with us knows, is religion and spirituality and Black people and God and the Bible. And is it Black people don't believe in UFOs, but they believe in the Bible? It's endless memes. I've had people on and I have some people who come in the chat room and talk about Satan and you know so there's different kinds of perspectives on religion and spirituality in the community, and it's become very divisive. So more often than not, what happens is with a grassroots organization like yours, religious community, the structural, not like my sister who said I ain't in the church, I'm in these streets, not like that, but the upper graded down here around the way missionary Big Boulder Baptist churches, God in Christ or whatever, not to belittle them, but to say those churches, they won't participate a lot. They won't, and they I said more often than not, correct me if I'm wrong, let me know if y'all got some affiliation with some churches who'll be there.
And the ones that won't, we don't need them.
Listen, we have some affiliations with some churches that's moving and shaking out here in the community. We talking big names. We talking people that be on TV and the radio. We talk about people that are national and local. So listen, when we are talking about healing the hearts, healing the homes, healing the hood, yes, there are some individuals. We have to understand that religion is man-made. That is man's attempt to serve God. It's flawed from the beginning because it's man's attempt. Now, what we are about at Heal the Hood, and like I said, with this prayer walk, we calling on everybody who believes in the one creator, the one who created everything. You call him Allah, you call him God, you pray to Jesus Christ, you have your chakras or your beads and do this. Listen here. We understand that there is one true creator. And however, what language you speak to talk to that creator, we want you to speak that language, because what we understand is a deaf person can't hear and has to communicate with sign language. A person of Spanish descent speaks Spanish. A person of Indian descent or tribal descent, there may be a bunch of different languages and dialects. So what we need to do is like they did in Acts. We need everybody in their own language to call on the creator so that healing can come.
So now I like to paraphrase on here, right? I like to paraphrase.
I'm preaching and teaching.
This is why they call me the world-class smartass. So in other words, none of these local pastors have reached out to y'all and got nothing direct, because or if they have, shout them out by name, because I want to call. I believe in accountability.
Listen, like that. Listen, we're gonna shout them out. Yeah. Listen. So our brother at Unity Gospel House of Prayer been down for the movement from the beginning. Not only does he lend his support, he put boots to the ground. I approached him at a Heal the Hood 3 years ago about this prayer walk. We're talking about We're talking about Hassan Baba too. We talk about David.
Hold on. That's the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement, Brother Baba too. That's the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement. We got the Nation of Islam, got their support. That's a different faction of Islam. We got Tony Whitley, Pastor Tony Whitley,
with the underground movement.
Man,
listen, we're in conversation with lots of people. Listen, we're trying to get so what we understand, we are about kingdom. We're not about religion, okay? We're about healing the hood. We're about uniting the kingdom. And so what we understand that there are different factions in the kingdom, and we're calling on those people to come.
Okay. Let me say this too, because I know we, I don't want to take up too much of our time either, but on my mama, we got gang in them coming. We got GD, growth and development. Lord and them is in the building. I just was on the line with one of my black disciple brothers. Him and the gang pulling up. We got our politicians, homies. When you come to heal the hood, you leave your shit at the door. You kind of love on one another. You kind of take care of one of your kids. If you got anything adverse to that, and that's why we can pull 1,500. That's why we can pull thousands of people like that, because we don't care. If you got a desire to help people of color, particularly impoverished youth, if you got a desire and an agenda to see them do better, then let's see how we can unite. Man, and again, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm blacker than black. I got tattoos all over my body, red, black, and green. Red, black, and green. I do this to the core. So people, it's no mistake what my dedication is to. But we all got work to do.
Okay, so there's a method to my madness, right? Yeah. So there's a reason why I asked this, is because once again, I talk about intentional solidarity on this show. Intentional solidarity, meaning all our different organizations, all our different groups, all our different grassroots organizations need to show solidarity. They need to make a conscious effort to solidarity. Now, we just watched a situation where there was a consortium of religious leaders who felt like the property tax that's being enforced by the city was unjust, and they asked people to come down and support them, and people didn't really go. And we talked about it here on the show, and we said why, and a lot of people have feeling some sort of way towards church as I grew up in it. I'm a PK, okay? I can tell you, I'm a Baptist PK. So I was raised on the pew. So and I realized that a long time ago or years back, the church held a certain kind of place in the community, and its works were extended. So if you had come to the neighborhood with something like Heal the Hood, the first person you'd have seen was Rev Do Right, and he just showed up, whether he was asking for some bread or whatever. He just said, "Oh, my brother Butler, I am," and did my parishioners, and the old church mothers would have been out there, the choir. It wouldn't hurt to have a choir. I mean, you have dance, you have art exhibits. It wouldn't hurt to have a church or religious organization, and even have maybe some evangelists come and witness to the community. That's intentional solidarity. That's why I asked that question, because if you are in the communities, and let's talk about what dominates the communities that you're in, outside liquor stores and gas stations, it's churches, storefront churches. So if something's going on in that community, wouldn't it be an excellent opportunity to step outside the synagogue or the mosque or whatever have you and say, "Hey, brother Jamu, we'd like to set up a booth too." So I was asking, was there anyone who in particular had kind of stepped up? Now I know the nation is there. I've been there. Brother Sarai saying if somebody they don't have a representative from the Sunni Muslim community, he can link you up with the Dawah Center. And shout out to my boy Ali who works out, who's up there too. Shout out to Rob, man, love for that brother. But yeah, so that's why I asked that question, because I feel like if it's anybody in the community that ain't supporting the big picture, they need to be ostracized. They need to be called out. If you in the community and you got an organization and you on some ego shit with, "Hey, Jamu didn't put me on the director board, so I ain't gonna be no."
We had that before. Jamila told me about a time when they was talking about my name, but they ain't know she was sis. Okay. And they were saying, "Oh, Ajamu, he ain't Christian and shit like that." So I don't know, Jamila, if I was like trying to do an event somewhere or I had to ask for this particular church, but they didn't know that that's Big Sis. And she, she didn't get too specific names and anything, but she just was like, "Little bro." You know what I'm saying? They talking about you ain't church, but you really church. You know what I'm saying? So we get that type of energy. We don't get that no mind.
Okay.
We get that.
I get that. I get it. My bad. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I get that too. You know what I mean? Like I'd have been through the community on my walk. You know what I mean? And then felt like I got treated funny because I didn't believe a certain type of way. You know what I mean? It was different organizations in the community. I would ask like, "Well, why can't I be one of y'all?" "Well, you don't pray do like this." And well, damn. Well, how I'm gonna have that nation or so? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's weird. It get weird like that. You know what I mean? And I always preach this. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you pray to. I don't give a shit who you pray to. You know what I mean? As long as you got a good head on your shoulders, you mean well, your intent is in the right place. You know what I'm saying? In all your endeavors, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? And and you on a mission to find peace in
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
Go
You
ahead,
know what I
sis.
mean? That's it. I don't care who you pray to. What I do know is whatever every religion has helped black men and black women.
Go ahead,
You know
sis.
what I mean?
Say something.
So who am I to shit on anybody?
Okay.
And
You
no,
dig what
and
I'm
no,
saying?
and know this. I used to belong to the church, and now I belong to the streets. And so when people come for, my brothers and sisters that's out here in the community, out here in the hedges and the highways, listen, I stand up for them. Like, I hold them accountable. So now I can put my name on Ajamu. Now, if they out here reckless talking about Ajamu ain't this, Ajamu ain't that, listen, you don't know Ajamu like I know. And what I know is Ajamu is kingdom. And so what we are is we about pursuing and pushing kingdom. Like Ajamu said, if you about healing the hearts, healing the homes, healing the hoods, you got a place at the Heal the Hood Festival and Resource Fair Saturday, May 28th at 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. You got a place here. Listen, you leave all of that other stuff that separates us you got to leave that on, fourth and right. Okay? You got to leave that from and rights, okay? You can't bring that from first and third. You got to leave that on Clark. You got to leave it on Capital Burbank. But on May 28th, if you step foot between first, second, and third and right, you got to be stepping through for healing the hood, advancing the kingdom. And if you can advance the kingdom an inch, a millimeter, we'll take it. But if you about decreasing, if you're about taking away and not adding to, then peace unto you. You go ahead. There's a corner of the vineyard for your work to be done. It just ain't gonna get done here on first and third and right.
Period.
Yeah, Jolie, can we have Jolie in us out? My sister's so silent. She's so silent, damn deadly old man.
Listen, Jamila preaching. Jamila preaching. Hey, but y'all said everything. At the end of the day, come as you are, but come with healing energy. If you're not coming with peace, love, community, stay home. That's it. That's all.
Shout out to Sarai Williams. You're right. Ali Grays, man. That's my man right there. Ali Grays. He was talking about the Dawa. Yeah, Ali Grays. That's my man. I can't even say it enough times. Like, we came up, man, knee high to a flea. And I watched that brother turn his life around through Islam. So shout out to my brother. As he tell him, Big Kev from Capital, hell yeah. Or Atkinson or the Davis family. Shout out just the whole consortium of our crew from back in the days. But shout out to him. But no, okay, so let's get back to what we were saying. No, and I get that. I get the spirit that you all are on. I totally understand what you're saying about when you're conducting Heal the Hood. It's a vibe. It's a vibration of solidarity and love. And hey, we're all community. I get that. There's no doubt about that. But once again, my interest in saying, there's other pieces in the community that need to chime in with the big picture. You need to get with it. You need to be about it or be without it. What they say, pay me or pay me no attention, right? I said that because when I was with the Panthers, we did a community cleanup in which we forced Lena. First of all, we caught when some Arabs, some gentlemen of Arab descent purchased Lena's on Capitol Drive, which is a staple of where I said I grew up on 17 and Capitol. So that was cold. That's where the whole hood get groceries there. When they purchased it, they were selling spoiled and rotten meat. Myself and the Panthers went in there, exposed them. First of all, we got so much backlash from black people in the community who was mad because of it. Why you messing with our Arab? They're your Arabs now, okay? So then we did a community cleanup in which we forced them to pay 50 kids, $20 a piece, young children, to participate. I'm on one side. My brother Rick Farmer's on the other side walking with a group of kids. I got one of the dirtiest looks I've ever gotten from anybody, not white or black, from a black church parishioner coming out of St. Mark AME, because I had on all black and I had a bunch of kids and we had garbage bags picking up trash and they were leaving and she walked out and stopped. And I don't know if you were in her way, but I stopped the kids and everything. and she looked at me like I was hell bound. And not only that, none of those people, older black people, this represents somewhat of a generation gap. We always talk about civil rights Negroes on here. None of them stopped to acknowledge what we were doing. They was almost like clutching their pearls, getting to their car. So I say there is division amongst the religious community, that old Southern Christianity community. It's divisive in our community. People feel polarized by it to say something. We extended the show on here one night by damn near an hour because the chat room went up in flames because this conversation about black people and spirituality existed. So I get what you're saying about, when you come, leave it at the door. But I'm saying, I feel like you should get a greater buy-in, meaning everybody, not just them. No, it should be a thing for us to say, hey, brother Jamu coming through, everybody get your flags and whatnot. So anybody who's not doing that, that's in the community that you're going to be in, I feel like I should call them out. At least we should call them out on Outlaw Radio. Y'all don't got to do it. We'll do the dirty work for y'all. We got y'all back like that, right? So I'm just calling out anybody who ain't reached out to you, say, brother, I'd like to be a part of it.
In a perfect world, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would be on board and could get down like that. You know what I mean? We talk with Malcolm X said it the best. You know what I mean? We need to leave religion at the house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Come on out and get this work. You know what I'm saying?
Hey. Marcus Garvey told us we trying to go back to Africa, but some of you niggas ain't no good to us in America. Right. Some of you niggas ain't gonna be no good to us in Africa either. You understand what I'm saying? You gonna stay over here while we progress. So it ain't about man. Listen, we record them out. We really from these streets, so you know what I'm saying. But we just got such a bigger mission. We let peons be peons. We let y'all in your lane and we in our lane. It's just how we choose to invest our energy.
I'm glad y'all about love. God's still working on me. I still get mad about shit. I get pissed off. I call people names. I throw stuff sometimes. You'd be surprised. I'm extremely explicit with names.
Part of finding that peace is learning how not to let stuff bother you so much.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people are mistaking it for me being nonchalant or not caring about nothing. But I mean, I'm protecting my peace, really.
Okay.
And you know what? A part of me protecting my peace is learning how to flex my gangster. You understand? And I ain't gonna lie, I've been in these streets long time. I'm part of the Almighty Vice Lord Nation, and I've been down since 2008. You understand? So listen, I'm respected all across America about this thing. So it's just about knowing how to walk light and carry a big staff. And when you see that staff, you can act like you don't see it. If you don't see it, I'm gonna make it see you. But we believe in love and all of that. But
right, I know you. I feel like and Kamar and myself had this conversation with people all the time. Like there's a community within our community, and there's a community of people who are engaging in this kind of black solidarity and this black love and supporting each other and stuff like that. But there's people on the outside who feel like I can't be included because I don't dress like him or I don't eat like him.
You got to learn how to be. I say it's a community within a community that's teaching that community how to be a community again.
Okay. That's what's up.
You dig what I'm saying? So it's like we got to relearn how to be. Okay. We don't know how to be. And so we're being a community that's teaching the rest of the community how to be a community again.
That's what's up. And that's what's up. Each one teach one. I like that. I got to ask my sister, how did you get into martial arts? Because I need to, because, for people out there who want to get their kids in this, and can they bring their children to you for like martial arts training?
So you out here prophesying in these streets right now. They cannot bring their children to martial arts training for me just yet, but it is in the works. Actually, I got into martial arts because my children were in martial arts. I had my baby boy and the weight wasn't coming off. And so I went to martial arts to kind of switch up my aerobic routine. And then I also am I'm a dancer. And so I wanted to be able to kick higher and faster. And I was running away from ballet. And so martial arts kind of mirrors ballet. So I entered into martial arts to be able to, become long, limber, kick high and spin fast. And a couple belts later, I'm like 2 belts away from a black belt. And I'm out here. The martial arts school that I actually attended is sponsored somewhat by that church that you were talking about on 16th and Atkinson. So Yes, and so I was part of the Anvil Karate Club under Master Carl Burks, who was taught by J.K. Lee himself, and so they are still there at 1530 West Atkinson Avenue. I believe that they are there on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 7, and then on Saturdays, I believe it's 11 to 1. But they can call the church office and get some information if they're interested in joining martial arts.
I was just about to say Kempu Koju. That's my neighborhood. I grew up just looking through the window.
Yeah.
I'm old. I remember Black Belt Theater. You talking about J.K. Lee?
Listen, Red Snapper. Listen, you listen. I grew up. Listen, I was raised by the pew too. I grew up right there, 16th and Atkinson. So you know.
Hey, shout out to my school and my teachers too, man. Shout out to Dr. Moses Powell and Professor V. May peace be upon them. Shout out to Grandmaster Anthony Muhammad, who trickled them teachings down to phenomenal brothers like Will Muhammad, Andrea Muhammad, and Fred Comey, who taught me how to use my hands and how to discipline myself as a man through them arts, man. Shout out to the team, man. BSK.
Yeah,
so Brother William Muhammad is still out here very much teaching the art of martial arts, and so y'all can find him. He's very easy to find out here.
Well, I mean, I hope people have heard or seen something tonight that kind of lit them up and motivated them to get up and get active. I always say, activism without activity it's stagnation, right? Like, so you can be active from the suburbs all you want, but you gotta get out here and do it. Shout out to Sarai Williams. I hope he can hook up with the Sunni Muslims. We get an echo from somewhere. I want to make sure because now May 28th, but you'll be back before then, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll get you back again, and we'll have more. Maybe we can bring some vendors. You sisters are welcome to come back as well. We can bring some of your vendors, because one thing about it is people who engage in positivity, I want to put a face to it. I want people to be able to see, like, this is who's making moves. Because we know sometimes people take credit for shit in the community they ain't got nothing to do with. So I like to show the real people who getting it done. You talking about 40 under 40, and most of them cats ain't been seen since Jeffro had puppies. But it is what it is, right? I just like to get a recognition to the right people, right? Forgive me, my family's from Mississippi. You might hear me use some country colloquialisms. But so May 28th, I want everybody to give their social so people know how to get in touch with y'all. If people are interested in maybe being a vendor or a sponsor or collaborations or whatever. So let's get the information before we get up out of here.
Man, we all up and through these comments. I swear to God, man, all of us is all up and through these comments. We got the email dropped about 30 times. healthehoodmke@gmail.com. Again, that's healthehoodmke@gmail.com. If you want to, lock in as a sponsor, a vendor, volunteer. Again, Jolie is our volunteer coordinator. So if you want that, I'm gonna direct you towards her. Get that form filled out. If you want to help out in the children's corner, you can connect that email, and we'll connect you with Jamila. Jamila just commented, if you want, just straight access to the event, she just commented the event page in there. We ain't too hard to find. Go check us out on that Outlaw Radio. You're going to get all the info you need about us.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to put this show. I'll share this show widely in a bunch of groups. It's already shared in a bunch of groups. It's on YouTube, on our YouTube page. It's on Twitter. We're live on there as well. I put it up on Instagram. I just really believe that we should engage in solidarity. And in my closing thoughts, I'd like to address the fact that, we talked about a story a couple weeks back in which we found out that the skating rink in Waukesha or Kenosha, it's Kenosha, and then they had stated that they didn't want to serve black kids from Milwaukee, black teenagers, right? And we know that they're a mom and pop organization. They don't represent a large corporate entity, luckily. But I just wanted to say they came with a real I would say step and fetch it kind of post about how they love everybody and they were changing their policies and they would let everybody in and da. My question to my community is, why the hell will we go there ever again? There has to be somewhere else for you to go skating at. There has to be somewhere else for you to take your kids. The crazy part about this is we had the solidarity and we were on code in the ways that I suggested. We have our own skating rink right here within the city because God knows we have enough vacant real estate here to do so. More often than not, we become our own worst enemies with our negative behavior and our counterproductiveness. So I'd like to say, man, let's engage in intentional solidarity more. Things like this, Heal the Hood, a place like the Sherman Phoenix. When you see black businesses, when you see black leaders in the community trying to build something, support them. More often than not, we too busy criticizing somebody and we don't do enough contribution, right? So I feel like we really need to stop going to places where we're not wanted. We get mistreated in all the surrounding suburbs who have their bases in white flight from the city of Milwaukee in the first place. This is why they are entities, because they hid it from Milwaukee when open housing was passed. The question here is, why would you want to go anywhere to eat in a restaurant at where they don't want you there? Are you not worried about them doing something to your food? Why would you want to be there in the first place, right? It's very important that we start to understand the spirit of do for self. We got to do for us, man. There's no bus coming to save us. White people are never going to express a day of national apology to black people and say, look, we just want to make it right. They're going to lie, distract, divide, and keep you disillusioned as far as they can. It's very important that we wake up and see nothing happens in our community unless we make it happen, right? So either you part of the problem or you part of the solution. And I always love closing my show with the quote by the great Willie D. If your criticism of the black community outweighs your contribution, your ass is a coon. I will see y'all tomorrow night on the Big Black Sports Show, man. Peace and
Peace,
love.
fam.
Hey, I love you, man. I really love you, brothers. Y'all something serious, man.
It's all love, y'all.
All right.